Now, almost 2 years after the inauguration of some 1,500 housing units under the Saglemi housing project, there is no sign of life in what was described as a massive leap towards addressing Ghana's housing deficit. Deputy Works and Housing Minister Frida Prempeh only last week stated government has found evidence of potential corruption in the award of the contract for the construction of the affordable houses. According to her, though contractors have completed less than 500 of the 1,500 units, almost all of the contract sum of $200 million has been paid out. Joy News' Joseph Akable has been to the site of the controversial housing project and reports they remain uncompleted and unoccupied, with weeds taking over part of the structure.
The housing project, pegged at $180 million, rests on a 300-acre land off the Accra Aflao Road. 1,502 housing units facility comprising 1 to 3 bedroom apartments and townhouses were to be built. They were expected to be sold at subsidized rates for low-income earners to afford. It is to be a complete city with industrial and recreational facilities, schools, shopping malls and other social amenities. It forms part of Ghana's push to tackle its housing deficit that has for years been pegged at 1.7 million. Very beautiful housing units one can observe when you are using the Accra Aflao Road. It is the Saglemi housing project. From afar, it looks completed and occupied by people. But a closer interaction with sources within the unit tells Joy News that the project has been abandoned since the change in government. By abandoned, our sources explain to us that there hasn't been any progress in the work. The second fact that may be disappointing to those who may see the beauty of this project is the fact that it is not completed. And that is what our sources tell us. They go a step further to inform us that parts of the various units have actually been taken over by weeds, as movement within it is somewhat difficult, simply because of the fact that the work is not progressing. This unit has been in the news quite recently after the Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, Frida Prempeh, raised some concerns about the fact that the project cost remains the same despite a reduction in the number of housing units that are to be provided for. We know for a fact, and from the communication from the Deputy Minister, that just about a little over 400 of the housing units are actually be completed and ready to be commissioned, but a good number. You recall that this particular phase of the project has to do with 1,500 housing units provided in a housing units project that is supposed to provide 5,000 housing units. So in terms of the situation here, we can say that work is not progressing because it's been abandoned. And the second fact being that no one has taken residence at any of the housing units that are completed as we speak to you. Reporting for Joy News from Saglemi, my name is Joseph Akable.
Meanwhile, prospective owners and occupants of the Sokori Mampong affordable housing project site will have the benefit of clean water, biogas and fertilizer from treated waste. Managers of the project are constructing a central sewage system to connect all apartments to address critical sanitation challenges. Project consultant Ernest Benning spoke with law firms and Nana Asenso Mensah on the occasion of International Habitat Day themed solid waste management.
Sitting on a 50-acre land, the 1,098 apartment housing project, which commenced about 11 years ago, is at its final stage of construction. Over 3,000 potential inhabitants will generate huge volumes of waste. In a country where the top 10 diseases for outpatient department attendants are sanitation related, managers of the project are exploring waste recycling options. So we are here at the Sokori Mampong municipality where we have the affordable housing project. As you can see, the project is still underway. But today is World Habitat Day as earmarked by the United Nations. And the theme for this year's program is management of solid waste. So we are here to find out how management is going to manage the solid waste of prospective residents. And this project is expected to contain over 3,000 residents and is handed over to government next year. Project consultant Ernest Benning throws more light on the new technology.
That project we are doing out there is not, strictly speaking, a biogas plant per se. It is a whole central sewage system, and the biogas unit is part of it. It's only a component of the whole thing. Now, what it means is that, you see, all the effluent coming from the houses, all the apartments, are going to be led through a pipe network into the plant. And this will go through some processes, partly aerobic.
Despite delays by poor weather conditions and inadequate materials by suppliers, consultants are poised to meet the deadline by the end of 2018.
We are pushing very hard to get this project completed by the end of December. But the board is resolved that this project should be completed by the end of December. And so this is our target.
Mr. Bannon discounts suggestions. The facility has already been given out to party faithfuls and their families.
I think it's all a fallacy. You see, these are wild rumors. People are buying. If you go to Accra, even some friends of mine have bought it. Yesterday, I was at a funeral in Kumasi, Saturday, and people were asking me, I said, look, just apply to SNIC. If you did the letter, I can take it up to the management myself. So people are buying. And it's neither here nor there if you're talking about NPP or NDC. We are all Ghanaians, and the facility is open to all, because at the end of the day, the government wants to recoup the money put into the project.
Reporting for Joy News, Nana Asensu-Mensah.
Now, parts of Accra once again got submerged on Monday after about an hour of rain. At Asylum Down, one of the most vulnerable areas, residents who appear to have gotten used to the phenomenon could be seen scooping water from their rooms. Many of them blame government's failure to comprehensively deal with the city's sanitation problem, especially the issue of plastic waste, as a major contributor to floods in the capital. Nancy Emefajra-Doze reports.
The extent of flooding was quite extensive at Asylum Down. Residents of the suburb who were home were actively displacing the water which had found its way into their rooms. Those who were not home, though, may return to flooded rooms. Others, however, managed to make their way home just in time.
You see, I'm at workplace and I run and I leave my work and I came to save my things in my room. So we are pleading to the government, and we are pleading to the Northmost people. They should come and do something about this thing.
A young man who was holding the fort for a friend talks about how he was almost swept away along with a lotto kiosk he was watching over.
I came to visit a friend who asked me to watch over his kiosk for him. I fell asleep and I felt the kiosk moving. I had to quickly scale over the wall to save my life.
Having gotten used to the phenomenon, most of the residents had adapted their homes by installing flood defenses, which however failed. For those who are yet to install any defenses, though, the situation was bad.
Oh, it's been ages now since it started, and anytime it rains or it dews, we don't get it easy here at all. Flood all over. We had to pack our things to the top there and all those stuffs, and just be packing and be putting all the water away. Enters our rooms. We need to pack our beds up there, pack our fridge, move out and stand outside when it stops before we just push the water out. Then a lot of work.
Some flood victims were disappointed with Northmost's handling of the flood situation over the years, questioning why they share food instead of solving the problem.
Even this one is more this thing that you people are seeing. The Northmost people came here, that was in March. They came and they judged some names. After that, they bring rice. See how people are suffering and you are bringing rice. What rice can do for us, madam?
Overall, they called for help and a long-lasting solution to the perennial flooding. Nancy Emefajra-Doze. Joy News.
Elsewhere, some scrap dealers close to the Odo River in Accra are worried of a looming disaster following Monday's downpour, which they say almost overflowed its banks. They say the Accra Metropolitan Assembly for the past 2 years has failed to distill the drains to allow it to collect large volumes of rainfall. They have tell Joy News' Emmanuel Jivenu they don't intend to leave the area despite the threats from the rains. One of the scrap dealers spoke on condition of anonymity.
The time the rain comes, it makes all this place make bazaar. If it is raining, if you go inside up there, you see people putting rubbers, ballers inside the rain. So the rain, if it rain, all those things will come inside the gutter.
You have lived here for quite a number of years. There are scrap dealers over here. Where do they keep their waste?
These people, they are normally doing it, but it's not continuously. This one, they will leave it maybe 3 days, 4 days before they will make this thing, they will burn it. So if the rain comes, the gutter get full too much, you take all those things inside the river.
But we are told by the AMA that this place will be distilled. The sand will be collected from the drain. Has that been done?
No. Former former mayor did this, but for some years now, they will come and pass here. Those people carry this thing. They say keep Accra clean. That pickup, they will come here. Then they will come see people here. Oh, what are you doing? This thing will harm people. This thing. They will say something basa. Then they will take money. There you go.
So are you afraid of anything happening now that the rains are setting in?
I'm afraid because anything can happen. It happened before. All because of this. That's why that thing happened at Circle. The gutter get choked. So if like they clear everything inside the gutter, if it rain, the gutter will go straight to the distant sea. So that this thing choke. So the water, if you reach somewhere, it can't go anywhere. So you pass through this thing areas, then you create another this thing.
I mean, in the interim now that the rains have set in, do you plan going until the rains are over?
I don't have anything now, so I can't go like this. Unless I get something before I can find another place.
Well, staying with the floods, we've had images shared on social media about showing parts of the Kotoka International Airport underwater. We will be sharing that image with you, but we have been speaking with the airport authorities who are saying that it does not suggest, or they are denying categorically, that the new terminal, the Terminal 3, is flooded. So these are images we're getting or posted on social media showing parts of the Kotoka International Airport. The authorities are telling us that the airport Terminal 3, the new Terminal 3 is intact and that there is no flooding there. We are there. Aisha Ibrahim is at the Kotoka International Airport, and in a bit during this bulletin we're going to be showing you some live images from there. Right now though, we're taking a break here on Joy News Prime. There'll be more news. Now to some politics, and former Chief Executive of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Kojo Bonsu, is the latest to join the flag bearership race of the opposition National Democratic Congress. This brings to 12 the number of people hoping to lead the party in the 2020 elections. Speaking to Joy News after submitting the letter of intent, spokesperson for Kojo Bonsu, Mohammed Al-Hassan, said his candidate's intention is not in any way a betrayal of the trust and friendship with former President Mahama. He spoke with Nancy Mefajiradozi.
Well, Mr. Kojo Bonsu, we all know, is a member of the NDC, and he served in public office. He served as a private individual. This is a democratic dispensation where there's an opportunity for anybody who believes that he has the capacity and he is worthy of contesting and becoming the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. He is very capable and ready, and he has decided that he's going to contest for the NDC flag bearership.
We all know that he's a very good friend of former President John Dramani Mahama. Others think that there's some sort of betrayal. Is that what it is?
Well, like I said, this is a democratic dispensation. We are all friends in the NDC. I don't think that one NDC member and the other NDC member are enemies. We are all friends, we are all family. This is a democratic dispensation. We are going for an election. Friends are standing. I don't think any of them are enemies. Once the delegates decide on the winner, we are all coming under one umbrella as the NDC to fight to regain power. So simply, this is a democratic dispensation, and we are all fighting for one common goal.
Or it's just a mind games to get the position of the running mate?
Well, like I said, mind game, no. We are serious. If we're not serious, I don't think that we would come from our homes, write an official letter, come and meet the General Secretary of the NDC and present a letter, and also send copies to the people that matter. I'm sure you heard that we went to meet the founder of the party, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, and then today we are here officially.
Now, some 22 students of the Agogo State College in the Asante Achim North District of the Asante region have been arrested by police. The number, including 18 females, according to the police, are suspected leaders of the protest which took place at the school late Sunday. The students were protesting the acute water shortage and the unavailability of power supply in the school. Lava Firm's Prince Apia has more in the following report.
Sunday night's action saw students damage the school bus, street lights, furniture, while they ransacked offices. 18 of the students who have been picked are females. They led the protest because they were worst affected. A committee made up of education directors, district chief executive, police and school authorities, traditional authorities ordered immediate closure of the school. All students were given up to 2 p.m. today to vacate campus and return next Saturday. District Education Director Ernest Kwejaferi made the announcement at a parade.
You destroyed all the street lights on campus. We need time to fix them. You destroyed the plumbing installations on compound here. We need time to fix them. Electricity transmissions have been disrupted on campus here. We need time to fix them. And all other things that you have destroyed, at least we need about 3-4 days to fix them back. And so it will not be prudent enough as you go about your normal activities on campus and workmen are here carrying this or that. It will be a threat to your own safety and security in school here. And so you are going home to make way for the repairs of all the things that you destroyed.
Mr. Ferry says the students will bear the cost of damages in the school.
Together. And we also want you to be aware, to inform you further that these repairs are not going to be at the expense of the people standing here. It's going to be at the expense of you yourself and maybe your parents. And so we are going to calculate the cost of all the items you damaged in school here last night. And so as you go home, inform your parents.
Student leaders say they are disappointed in their fellow colleagues over the protest. DCE for Asante Achim North, Francis Otibuating, says they are facilitating for the students to be given bail tonight.
I've asked the police authorities to grant them police inquiry bail, and they will sign a bond of good behavior for 6 months. And I hope this will be a deterrent to most of them and the others who are yet to be arrested too. All right.
Now the students would have to stay home till Saturday when they return to face the necessary punishment. Prince Apia reporting.
Now, the wife of a bridegroom killed on his wedding day has been hospitalized as the family struggles to come to terms with his death. The Natil Firdaus Yakubu became a widow the same day she became a bride, and that is just last Sunday. She lost her husband, Disu Kumaru, barely an hour after they were joined together. Police say the newlyweds were on their way to the Africana guest house near the Atomic Roundabout for their wedding reception when the deceased lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a tree. Maxwell Agwagwa has more.
Behind me is the Africana guest house where the wedding reception was supposed to take place. Some family members are distraught and saddened by the incident. Some of them who came from very far places are still here at the guest house as the family finalizes plans for the burial of the deceased. One of them I've been speaking to, who is not willing to speak on camera, says that they were here waiting for the celebration to start sometime around 12:30 to 1 p.m. when news reached them that the bridegroom was actually involved in an accident together with the bride. We are told that the deceased ran his vehicle into a tree here on the Hachu stretch. I've also been speaking to a security man here at the Africana guest house, Alasan Seidu. He says the deceased was a benevolent man. He has been sharing some fond memories of him. He has also been narrating to us events leading to the accident.
Now, day like this, you see some car make accidents from this route. So I said it passed after the police station. They are coming. The car just passed one way. Go knock the tree. Before we go here, say it's gone. That is inna dillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. The food, because this is happening, nobody chop. Because the drinks they give the people, they are waiting him. If he come, they start they celebrate. The drinks, people don't take the drink because how the thing come, now everybody confused. Everybody surprised. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? When the people serve, they bring the food. They don't serve anyone food serve give anybody. Just they are taking the soft drink.
One of the organizers for the celebration that would continue after the wedding is Frank Hodo. Frank says in the morning before the incident happened, he fixed all the sound system and made sure the decor was ready for the celebration later that afternoon. He says the last time he heard from the bridegroom was on Saturday, some hours before the reception.
The place was set to maximum. Everybody is just awaiting for his arrival and the bride. So I rushed back home, and around 4, my wife came and informed me that Obolo, who is coming to do the wedding reception, is no more because he got an accident on the way to this place. I was like, what a shock. That cannot be true. It can't be true. It's just so shocked. So I took a brief and then I rushed down to the place, and the news was all over. People were coming out in a morning mood, and it's just no. At first, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it because I saw him. That was Saturday, 4:30 p.m. standing right here, beside his car. That was the last picture I saw.
When was that?
That was Saturday, 29, 4:30 p.m. That was a day to the wedding reception on Sunday.
What you can see in the background right now is the Hyundai Santa Fe vehicle the deceased was using together with his wife. It was very difficult getting the family members to talk to us because a lot of them were still shattered by the news of the demise of the bridegroom. One of the friends of the deceased I've also been speaking to said he received an invitation from the deceased 3 days ago.
Well, information reaching journeys in the past hour says the deceased has been buried at the Medina Cemetery in adherence with Islamic custom. We are taking a break now to bring you business news.
Hello again, good evening to you. Welcome to business. The producer price of cocoa has been maintained at 7,600 Ghana cedis per metric ton, effective today, Monday, October 1. The decision to retain the price is to help cushion farmers against losses incurred from declining cocoa prices globally. Here's a report by Charles IT.
The timing for the announcement of cocoa producer price was concurrent with Ivory Coast, a move expected to change smuggling between both countries. Minister for Agric, Dr. Efri Akotose, who addressed the cocoa farmers, explained the move to maintain prices was to cushion farmers against losses incurred from declining cocoa prices.
I now have it as a state honor to announce the opening of the 2018-2019 cocoa season, which starts from Friday, the 5th of October 2018. The government, in consultation with stakeholders, has decided to maintain the producer price of cocoa at 7,600 cedis per ton for the 2018-2019 cocoa season. This figure translates into 475 cedis per bag of 64 kilogram gross weight. I would like to urge all LBCs to ensure that farmers are paid at the time of the sale of their produce at the actual price of 475 Ghana cedis per bag of 64 kilogram gross weight.
Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin Edu, re-emphasized the need for cocoa farmers to adapt new planting and disease control methods to improve production.
With the hand pollination, now a tree is giving us 897 pods. Just one tree. And that is where we are taking Ghana cocoa to. We want to make cocoa farming very attractive and appealing to everybody. Other trees on the farm and other farms around Mr. Jamre's cocoa farm have registered between 200 and 350 pods per tree. Is it not amazing? My conviction is that if cocoa farmers across the country would adhere to good agronomic practices,
the maintenance of the producer price of cocoa to about 7,600 cedis per ton has attracted some concerns by cocoa farmers who say the maintenance of this price could incur some sense of losses to them. They just want a reprieve from government and, of course, a relook into the figures. But so far as the world and even Ghana celebrates the 2018 Cocoa Day, there's also been the need for much more patronage of cocoa products here in the country. Meanwhile, the world's leading producer of cocoa, Ivory Coast, raised the guaranteed price it pays farmers to $1.34 per kilogram for the 2018-2019 main crop season.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has indicated the cybersecurity policy review will be completed by the end of the year. The policy is to protect the country from attacks on its cyberspace, especially as government embarks on a digitalization agenda to grow the economy. Daryl Kwao reports.
Cyber attacks are on the increase and have become more sophisticated these days. Only last week, over 50 million Facebook accounts were hacked into. In Ghana, the term Sakawa is just one of the dimensions of cybercrimes. Government is on a campaign to create cybersecurity awareness by throwing more light on the dangers cyber attacks pose and how individuals and businesses can protect themselves. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who addressed the launch of the 2018 Cybersecurity Awareness Month in Accra, explained why this is important for the country's digitalization agenda.
A robust digital ecosystem is essential if we are to achieve our vision of Ghana beyond aid. The fundamental importance of all the innovations the government is putting in place is centered on reducing the transactions cost of our everyday lives and making the life of the citizens better. For that reason alone, there is every reason to ensure that the systems, networks, and processes that govern the use and access to these technologies are reliable and predictable. For government, cybersecurity is a public good. The benefits are shared. It is therefore an obligation that the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Communications, takes takes this seriously.
Meanwhile, Communications Minister Esther Usu-Kufo has highlighted the need for more awareness to be created on cyber risks following recent breaches. She's hopeful it will be factored into the 2019 budget.
I have received dozens of complaints from persons who have been defrauded through mobile money scams. We have records of cases in which SMEs have collapsed because hackers intercepted their financial transactions through emails and they lost their entire capital. The identities of many members of parliament and ministers have been cloned through fake accounts used to defraud unsuspecting citizens online. Their identities also being cloned. Fake news is spreading like wildfire on social media networks, and that also poses a security threat. We will have to monitor social media too.
The 2018 Cybersecurity Awareness Month is on the theme, A Safer Digital Ghana.
Now, as part of plans to appreciate business partners and customers, EcoBank Ghana has unveiled a new product dubbed Care and Convenience. The product seeks to improve the bank's customer service delivery across all platforms.
The EcoBank Care and Convenience program is centered on meeting the needs of customers within the shortest possible time through innovative means. According to the Chief Executive, Dan Saki, the launch of the program is commitment that the bank is ready to serve and respond to the needs of customers so they get what they ask for in a convenient way.
What we give today with this launch is the commitment that our people are ready to serve you, our people are ready to respond to your needs, our people are ready to receive your complaints and to handle them so that you can get the convenience that you've always asked for and be able to lead your life as and when you want. What we have learned today is care and convenience whenever and wherever. Your ability to transact with the bank when you want, wherever you are, and to have that convenience you want, when you want it and wherever you want it.
EcoBank, with this new product, hopes to assure clients that it is undergoing system upgrades on a daily basis as part of measures to ensure the best services are provided to customers. The launch of the program on Monday brought together some loyal customers of the bank to share their customer service experience. According to the Chief Executive, the introduction of innovative products and services has added to the many initiatives it promised customers across the nation.
The convenience campaign for EcoBank is centered on being able to provide our customers with timely service and products. What we believe is that if you walk to an ATM to withdraw funds, you should be able to do that very quickly. For that to work, our system should be up and running 24/7. What we believe is that if you want to make a payment in a shop, you should be able to make that payment very quickly and walk away. For that to happen, our system should be up and running. What we believe also is that if you have a complaint, you should be able to reach our contact center very quickly, and we should be able to respond to you very quickly.
The bank has assured that it is working to improve its services across the nation.
And that's business on Joy News Prime. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Apuaji. Have a good evening.
All right, we're returning to our earlier story about the heavy downpour this afternoon that got some parts of Accra submerged. Now, the Ghana Airport Company has been reacting to images on social media about flooding at the Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3. Now, the airport authorities have indicated that there is no such flooding at Terminal 3. Aisha Ibrahim is live at the Kotoka International Airport, and she's going to bring us the very latest on that. Hello, Aisha. So what have you been able to find out when you got to the airport?
Well, Israel, I've been here for some time now, and you can see, if you can see the background, you can see that we are at the tarmac now, the Terminal 3 tarmac now, and it goes all the way to the Terminal 2 tarmac over there. You can see that activities are going on. It's so brisk here. Everybody is going about their duty. If you want to know about that video we saw on social media in the morning, it looks like it was the place, it it was this tarmac that was put on social media. But the explanation, because the floor is still wet, and so you can see that there were some traces of water. The explanation we get from here is that because the rain was heavy, it gathered some water around here, which has since subsided, but it wasn't flood as was reported earlier on social media. So as you can see, the floor is still wet though, but you can't see any traces of flood here. All the vehicles and the aircrafts are moving about freely. One aircraft just landed, and you could see that a bus just came to park here where some passengers were dropped from the aircraft. So of course, it was the place that was recorded on social media, but the explanation we get is that it is not flooded because the rain was heavy. It gathered some water, but it has since subsided. Israel.
All right. So, what can you report about the terminal building itself? Do we know if there was any flooding there?
I can tell you that it's a very beautiful building. It's been very, very busy. And of course, we ourselves, we missed our way because it's our first time here since the Terminal 3 was built. And it looks quite fantastic. And people are actually happy with the building. If you...
airport here. It has some standards that
it has some standards that, of course, it sends a certain signal that we are getting there. It's quite a very beautiful place with some elevators here and there. You have some lifts, because if you go downstairs.
All right, Aisha, I wanted to find out that if you've seen the terminal building itself, if you've been in there, are there any indications that probably some water got in there?
Hello, Israel. I couldn't get you.
I'm asking if you've been to the terminal building itself, are there any indications or traces that there was anything like flooding there?
Well, I didn't quite get your question, but if you want to find out if we've been at the Terminal 3, yes, we've been there. And like I said, the place is very busy, choked with a lot of passengers. We went to the arrival hall first, people who had arrived, who were getting ready to leave the airport, and then we climbed upstairs to the departure where people are also processing their documents to travel. And it's such a beautiful place. If you haven't been here in a while, you will not find your way out. You would need some assistance. And so it's not like the previous airport that we used to come to, and where you could just find your way out. You just need somebody to assist you. It's such a beautiful place, and it has a lot of let me say corners. It has a lot of offices you have to pass through before you get your documents done. So it's quite a busy area, and I can just say that the Terminal 3 is a beautiful place, and you just have to be here to see what we are talking about.
Aisha, one final question. Do we know if the flash flooding that occurred earlier in the day, did it disrupt any flights at all?
Well, we've been told that it didn't distract any flights here. Activities went on as planned, and it didn't affect anything planned.
All right, thank you very much, Aisha.
When that thing happened, but as far as we're concerned, for
all right, thank you very much, Aisha Ibrahim, bringing us that live report from the Kotoka International Airport. And as you just heard, there was some flash flooding earlier in the day, and because of the volume of the rain or the downpour, there was some amount of flooding on the apron at the Kotoka International Airport, but all that has since receded, and so flights, as you heard her say, flights were not disrupted in any way. Now, in March this year, Joy News' Jojo Kobna filed a report on tourists complaining about open defecation just outside the walls of the Cape Coast Castle by residents there. Some of the tourists, clearly let down by the act, had vowed never to return. Well, following the Joy News report, it appears the residents have mended their old ways. They say fear of arrest and embarrassment forced them to reconsider their bad behavior. Jojo Kobna returned to the area and has come through with this report.
For years, squatting and defecating behind the Cape Coast Castle was a normal thing to do. Our cameras could not deter coastal dwellers from engaging in this despicable habit. When Joy News lashed hard at coastal dwellers for desecrating a historical monument, the Ministry of Tourism came out with a game plan.
We will also task GMMB to build a fence on the rocks behind the castle, so it will be a no buffer zone, so no one will be able to enter. It will be a security zone, because if you have a guest, and if you look at the video, it's so embarrassing. You have a guest overlooking the cannons, being told about the history and the atrocities that occurred at Cape Coast Castle, and what you see is a young Ghanaian man doing the unthinkable right below the castle on the rocks. It is not acceptable.
Behind the castle has not been fenced, but security men in plain clothes were placed there to parade the beach and arrest unrepentant deviants. That trick has yielded some positive response. The acting castle manager, Kingsley Okpoi, is a happy man.
We appreciate the effort of Joy News from coming up with that piece. It is true that some people looked at it and then appreciated it. Some other people look at it and then they were not too happy with it, because it casts a slur on the image of the institution, the town and the country at large. A bad image. Yeah. So, however, the good news, like we said, that out of this, a lot has happened, and one positive is that it has changed. The people have heeded the call.
It's a delight watching tourists enjoy a stunning, striking view. They take pictures, but this time around, they have no one squatting in their picture. The balcony smells fresher. Fishermen behind the castle are also excited.
These days, residents have stopped defecating here. Anyone who comes here to defecate will be arrested. We will arrest them. Now our fishing nets are clean. There are no feathers in our nets. Tourists take photos of us to show the whole world that we are crude. Government sent a strong message that we will be arrested, so residents have changed. They now use public toilets.
An end to open defecation here for at least 2 months is the new normal. Perhaps residents of Choko, Teshi, Shama, Jamestown and Axim should challenge themselves and stop the shameful practice. Jojo Kobna, Joy News.
Well, pupils of the Kukumlimli 1 and 2 basic schools have resorted to open defecation right by a newly built toilet facility for the school. Emmanuel Jivenu visited the school and reports the facility, according to sources, was built by an NGO but is yet to be commissioned.
This is a normal day at the Kukumlimli 1 and 2 primary school. Pupils ease themselves freely in open drains in the school. The gutter now serves as a place of convenience to hundreds of school children here.
Where are you going? Where? The gutter.
Oh, okay.
What is puzzling is the fact that the school has a newly constructed toilet facility which remains locked. We found out that though the facility was completed 4 months ago, the children have not been allowed to access it. They obviously are not happy about the situation.
Some of our colleagues sit in the gutter because this place has been locked. We are sit on the roadside and pay 50%. I'm not happy that they have got this thing.
Some pupils who are shy to defecate in the open walk long distances to a public toilet and pay 50 pesos to use it. Their teachers, on the other hand, have a fairly decent washroom with running water. The children are exposed to serious health risk because of such insanitary practice. According to the 2017 Education Management Information System report by the Ghana Education Service, over 2 million Ghanaian children in basic schools openly defecate within their immediate school surroundings. Emmanuel Jivenu's report for Joy News.
Now, some students of the Tema Senior High School have described as great education, fun, and an experience of a lifetime after a practical demonstration of how the Archimedes principle of the hot air balloon in science works. The students joined media personality Jerry Justice and comedian Funny Face, who flew the hot air balloon as part of the Cowbell in the Sky project. Joy News' Komla Dome has more in the following report.
This is a crew generating enough air to enable the balloon float. Media personality Jerry Justice and comedian Funny Face are ready to fly.
Are you sure you're not scared?
Oh no. If you see me dodging, I'm dodging camera. That's brother, they fear.
It looks scary though, but man, I'm cool. I'm cool. Since they are here with us, I think it's going to be all right. So, yeah.
The takeoff point is somewhere at Dawinya, and the trip is expected to take 45 minutes. The team, however, landed some 10 minutes earlier than expected close to the Afinya Stone Quarry site, and pilot Con Odina explains why.
We decided to land here about a bit more than half an hour because this was a perfect road for the retrieve cars to drive on. And in the direction we were flying, I couldn't see any roads like these. And in order to avoid trouble with the cars getting stuck in the fields, I decided to land here.
How would you say the experience with the two individuals on board this particular flight? How was it? Did you have them terrified at some point?
Well, Funny Face, but he was a bit scared. He was constantly sitting on his knees in the basket, and he even started to play some music, I think, to relax. And he was very busy in the basket. The other two guys were teasing him, hey, be a man, stand up, be a man. So there was an extremely good atmosphere in the basket.
I engaged the two personalities on the experiences. And while Jerry Justice was sure he was bold in the sky, Funny was not so sure of himself.
It wasn't like me, I wasn't afraid. I was from the beginning, especially when they were inflating it and, you know, looking at the fire and the sound. I was scared though. But when I got on board, I spoke to the pilot. He schooled me as to how, you know, they fly it and all of that. And I was comfortable then. So I started videoing and taking selfies up there.
Even the pilot at the point was giving me morale. You know, because in this life, defend everybody's destiny. Okay. And once we in there, Jerry and my other friend, they were standing. But me, in there, I saw life from a different angle. After I got down, man brought down. That's the first thing I did. And I said, God, you were a supernatural being.
The team visited the Tema Senior High School after the flight. Students there were then taken through the practical application of the Archimedes principle of how the hot air balloon works. These Form 3 science students want the technology mainstreamed to boost Ghana's tourism potential.
So from our distant observation, I observed that the balloon has been fueled up, and we asked whether it was a fuel, but he told us that it's not a fuel, but it's a gas. We asked which type of gas. He said it can be a helium gas, it can be a hydrogen gas.
What I see here, we can promote it in Ghana by using it in tourist sites and other wide plains so that we can attract more people in Ghana, which serves as a revenue for the country.
As part of a week-long exercise, media personality Israel Laye will be joined by cowbell celebrity Nanaba Anamwa to fly on the balloon. Head of events and PR manager at Cowbell, Gideon Kodo, explains.
The next flight is tomorrow. It's going to take the same routine. We'll be doing a school visit, which is Chemu Senior High School, which forms part of some activities for their upcoming speech and prize giving day.
This is a wrap of day 1 or phase 2 of Cowbell in the Sky project. Komladon for Joy News.
And that'll be all for the bulletin. My name is Israel. Thank you very much for watching. You have a good night.
This is Joy News Prime.